Did Jesus pray like a Muslim? I've heard Muslims make that claim that they think Jesus was a Muslim because of how he prayed. He prayed face down. But I think there's three reasons why we can know that he's not praying like a Muslim. First of all, Islam wasn't even around back when Jesus was there. Islam would come 600 years after him. So if anything, Islam's copying from Jesus, not the other way around. Secondly, Jesus prayed this way only one time, and that was in the Garden of Gethsemane, right before he was about to go to the cross. And the reason why he fell onto his face and prayed is because he was sorrowful, it says, anxious. And so he was pleading with the Father to take the cup away. Other times when Jesus prayed, he didn't pray on his face. It was only one time he did. And when he prayed on his face, he was sweating drops of blood. Is that normative? Is that what Muslims do? Sweat drops of blood when they pray? No. Third reason, I think a really important reason why Jesus clearly is not a Muslim is because the very verse they use in the Bible to say that he prayed like a Muslim is the very verse that goes directly against Islam. I'll read it out. It says, "And going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, 'My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will.'" What did Jesus just pray? Father. In Islam, what did they say you're not allowed to call God? Father. Because they think that's associating partners with Allah, which is the big sin in Islam called shirk, because it implies that you're a son of God, and they don't think you can be called a son of God, and therefore you can't call God Father. Then, the very verse they use to try and support that Jesus prayed like a Muslim is the very verse that disproves Islam and shows that Jesus was definitely not a Muslim by the fact that he called God his own Father. If you look in the Bible, any of the prayers Jesus makes, he always starts off with the word Father. Even in the Lord's Prayer, how he instructs us to pray, he says, pray like this, "Our Father who art in heaven." What did Jesus commonly call himself? The Son of God? The very thing Islam says you're not allowed to call yourself. Now this puts Muslims in a very difficult situation because the Quran affirms the Bible, the Torah and the Injil, the Old and New Testaments, as being from God. And it says you don't have anything to stand on unless you observe that. Therefore, if the Bible says we can call God our own Father, then Muslims either have to reject the part of the Quran that says that the Bible's from God, or they have to reject the Quran in every point it disagrees with the Bible. Either way, they're having to reject some part of the Quran. And so there is no reason to think Jesus was a Muslim. He was the Son of God who came to this world to save sinners. And Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father except through me." So we should all heed that word of Jesus and come to Jesus for salvation through faith in him.